Hi everybody, here we are working on the back axle again, because although we changed the seals so there was no more oil dripping, unfortunately at about 25-30 miles an hour in top gear a vibration was occurring through the car. That sort of speed, 25-30 miles an hour, gives a prop shaft speed of 1,200 revs, and if you went over that the vibration got worse. So that's a prop shaft speed of say 1,000 revs for easy calculations, and as this diff is geared 5-to-1, that means that the half shafts would be doing 200 revs. Anyway, nasty vibration. There's not many things to vibrate in the back axle, but there are 5 bearings. There's one in the outer area of the axle, one on each side, and there are 3 in the middle. 2 are connected to the prop shaft and therefore turn at prop shaft speeds, and the final one turns at half shaft speed, which is 5 times less. Anyway, to take it out is a bit of a bugger, but not too much of a problem. If you've not done it before, I'm going to show you how it is done. It was a learning curve for me, but maybe I can save you some time and worry. As usual, we have to grovel under the car, so hold on while I clamber down. Okay, we're underneath. We're facing forwards from the back of the car. This is the back of the differential. To take it all apart, there is a cap held on by 4 nuts and bolts. There it is. Behind the cap is a cork gasket to stop it leaking oil. Take that off, you find that big nut, which of course, as always, is held on with a split pin. Anyway, take off the nut, take off the split pin, take off the nut, and a bit like we did with the gasket, hold on, let's go around the front. You do the same to the front here. 4 bolts, the front comes off. Put that out the way, keep it clean. What you then have to do is, using a hefty hammer, I've used this one which has got a copper face so it doesn't damage anything. I warm the cast iron casing, warm it a little bit with a blow lamp, warm it up so it expands just a little bit, and then you can drive the shaft out. You have to hit it quite hard, but if you use a copper-faced or a lead-faced hammer you probably won't do any damage. And the whole lot pops out front-ways. The worm drive and 2 washers are left inside. Now that worm drive is bigger than this hole and it's bigger than the front hole, so it won't pop out. Unfortunately, it'd be nice to have a look at it, but it won't pop out that way. It has to be taken apart by, well, take the whole axle apart and lift it out that way. Anyway, we can have a little look inside, and it looks jolly fine, doesn't look worn, and when we drained the oil there was nothing in there to give us any worry. Anyway, let's return to the bench. And you can see what came out. Over here on the bench we have the shaft for the worm drive. This is the front part, you may remember that from the video last week. Front bearing, which is considerably large, it's what they call a double roller. The splines, they're the ones that slide inside the worm drive, which is just a slide-on fit, there's no forces involved there. The back bearing, there's the thread I told you about, where you take the nut and the split pin and nut off and you drive it out that way. And in my case, I think that this is the offending bearing. There's not a lot of play in it, but there's maybe enough. Hold on, I'm doing things with one hand. A little bit difficult to see, but anyway, there is play in it. So we're going to replace that one. This one has no play, so we think that's still very good. Luckily, a brand new bearing was in stock locally. £4.50, not bad. Didn't expect to find one that easily, but it's going to speed the job up. if it helps anybody, we have some part numbers. Challenge 6306-2RS-C3. There we are, challenge bearing. So we put it all back together. This lot has to go in through the front. That bearing gets tapped into the back. Of course, we're going to have to align this with the worm drive, but that's not difficult. I'll just pop this off a minute, because this, which I think is an oil thrower, and this, which obviously takes the bearing as it tightens up, they get left inside, so you have to fish them out when you take it apart, and you obviously have to hold them. This is when you could do with 10 sets of hands, not one, but you have to hold those in the right position, not difficult, as you slide this back in. Tighten it all up, put the oil back in, and pray that this bearing was the problem. But no matter what the problem, or if you're just taking an axle apart, this may assist you, so you know how it comes apart and doesn't get you worrying like I had to do, that you may be doing some damage. And all the bits are very robust. Obviously, when you're hammering on the end of a thread, don't do it with an iron hammer. Use a lead hammer, like that, or a copper hammer, so you don't damage things. If, of course, the axle is off and on the bench, then you could use a press, but if it's still attached to the car, you're somewhat limited. Okay, as usual, a nice cup of tea, and let's put it all back together. Catch you later. Bye.